Okay. I could almost narrate these are the co-founders of MultiPOD Mentoring in 2016. 3 of my former mentees. Okay.
So whenever you're ready, DZ, go ahead.
I think I'm going to start. Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. And if there are some friends from Australia, good early morning. My name is Fernando Zacarias. Oh, Steve, how are you? Good. My name is Fernando Zacarias, and I'm the principal mentor and program coordinator for MultiPOD Mentoring. What we are going to do today, well, first, let me give you the welcome. This morning, we had a session with about 40 people. This evening, we are approximately 18, so it will be an easier session to conduct, and we will have opportunity to have a more interactive session. Okay, can you share my screen? Let me see, share my screen. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, first, welcome again to the new mentees, to the new mentors, and to the continuing mentors and continuing mentees. Oh, sorry about that. This is the agenda for today. The objectives, more than anything, are to share information with you, then do some activities that are going to be conducted by my 2 co-hosts, Shirley Bejarano and Ahmed Abdel Fattah. And we will have an opportunity then to ask a few questions after we have done the breakout rooms. First will be a presentation by me, activity 1, which is going to be fun. 2 mentee testimonials by Ahmed and Shirley, who were mentees and now are new mentors for this year. After the breakout sessions, we are going to have the testimonials by 2 of our mentors, Mariela Contreras from Honduras and Jose Romero Keith from Mexico. We have also a presentation on the Coalition for Global Health Innovation by the president of that group, which is the daughter of MultiPOD Mentoring. And then Shirley is going to present some of the resources which are available on the website. After that, a short period of questions and answers and the closing. So without further ado, I'm going to explain again what MultiPOD is about. Pathways, opportunities, and decisions. And here you can see the images of a young man looking at which pathway he should follow. The other young man looking at the future, looking at the horizon, what is going to happen, and this young lady looking at the door and deciding if she's going to enter or stay out or go to the red or the blue door. And the program is also about 9 crucial questions about your future. The first 3 have to do with your pathways. And you should ask yourself, who am I? That's the first question. The second one is, what am I? If you had your visiting card, what is going to say in your visiting card? I'm a professional, I'm an architect, I'm a global health specialist, I'm a dentist, etc., etc. And what is my ikigai? And I'm going to refer to my ikigai, to the ikigai in the next slide. The second series of questions have to do with opportunities. And here is, how do I know what I want? How do I find and how do I get what I want? And the third series is about choices. How do I know this is it? How do I choose? When do I choose? We're talking about your future. And this is what is important. Ikigai is a Japanese concept that means a reason for being, and talks about 4 key aspects that you have to find out and your ability to balance them. And these 4 aspects will bring fulfillment and a long, productive life. It's a concept started in Okinawa, and what they refer to are what you love, which is your passion. What the world needs, or the reason why you are here, your mission, the voice that calls you, your vocation, and finally, what is what you do to earn your living, your profession. And the ikigai is at the very center of that. So we try to find that, and sometimes it may take you your whole life and your ikigai may change. But this is something that you have to take into account every time. You have to make a new decision about the different pathway you have to take, or a decision. MultiPOD mentoring has 2 objectives. The first one you already know, and that's the reason why the mentees are here. It has to do with professional and personal growth, and also your technical ability. But the medium and long-term plan or objective is even more ambitious. We're trying to create a critical mass, a think tank, a collective intelligence network of young people all over the world that will have a voice and will innovate and try to make the necessary changes in global health and human development. And this is really important because this is the origin of MultiPOD's daughter, the Coalition for Global Health Innovation. Our young mentees, the new mentees, are our ideal mentees, and that's why they were selected. People are very modest, and I think, no, that's not me. I'm not the best among my peers. Yes, my friends, you are. Your peers can be 5 people, can be 10 people. We're talking about the circle where you move, your classroom, anything that surrounds you. And this is what you must be. These are the qualities that we are looking for. You are above average. Compare yourself also with other people. People say, I don't like comparisons. Well, compare yourself, please. And also, you are different and unique. You have skills, talents, abilities, interests that are only yours and make you different from everybody else. And this is what we expect and you expect to be. Your performance, to be useful, to get results, and to be successful. Successful, accomplished by societal, institutional, and your personal standards and your family standards. And this is really, really something that you have to take into account. With the mentors, we start with senior people who have been successful or are successful. Why? Because they're also role models. They're an example of what can be achieved in your profession. What do they have? They have experience and they have knowledge. And what is what they are going to give you? They're going to give you their empathy, because all the mentors have been where you are now. They are going to pay attention to you. They are going to listen to you. And there's going to be an exchange of intellectual energy and feelings between you and your mentor. And then people are afraid of this word, wisdom, which is nothing else than the recognition of what's important in life, good judgment, intuition, questioning, critical questions in life. And we have developed a curriculum for life, the professional development or the know-how, your technical and scientific knowledge, and your personal growth. And these are some of the areas that your mentor and you will cover. Know thyself, critical and analytical thinking, communication, approaches to decision making. How do you manage and understand power? How do you deal with difficult people, including yourself? The professional development is what most people, most young people want. How do I find a job? How do I have success during an interview? How do I write my resume, et cetera, et cetera. And the technical areas, let me remind you that we have 31 disciplines in the program. So it's not possible that your mentor knows everything about your discipline or anything about your discipline, but he or she can learn from you, and the mentor can give you orientation, can tell you how to approach any issue or any problem in the area in which you are, for example, writing a thesis or whatever. I just want to show you the expansion of the program. We started officially in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and now we have at least 5, I think we have about 7 or 8 new countries. Finally, I'm going to show you the live course of MultiPOD mentoring, starting in 2014, when I started doing mentoring virtually. And then with 3 of my former mentees, we started MultiPOD mentoring, the phases of growth, development, and peak. These were the first 6 years, and we had 150 mentees in total. During the expansion, the next decade, 2020 to 2029, we plan to have between 800 and 1,000 mentees who have gone through the program. In 2019, at the World Health Summit, a group of MultiPODians came together and decided to form this coalition for global health innovation. And it's already a reality. And Jovana Ilkic from Serbia is the president, and she will give you an account of what has been happening since then. So that by the end of the next decade, there are going to be at least 100 people actively working in the coalition. Maybe the coalition may have 1,000 people, but we know that only a few do the real work. The proof of the recipe is in the pudding. So what I'm going to talk about now is the final annual evaluations. And we evaluated subjectively the usefulness and the effectiveness of the program and the sessions. And then we look at the outcomes, at the goals of the mentees for that year. And most of the mentees, what they wanted was to advance their career, getting a job, or getting admitted for advanced studies. We also look at what was their general impression of the program and if they would recommend it. And finally, if they will give us recognition by asking for a certificate. And this is the usefulness. 90%, 93% said that it was useful. Effectiveness, about the same. But now comes the real proof. 2/3 got the job that they wanted. In 2020, we went lower, and I'm not going to take the excuse that it was because of the pandemic, because we have been virtual since the very beginning. But maybe that affected that because the other institutions, the universities, it was more difficult for people to move around and to be able to visit and talk to people one-on-one. This is the desired studies. It was also about 50%. But if you think that some people get the results of their application in March or April of the following year, then it went higher. It was about 2/3 too. This is the very nice recommendation to other people. And actually, most of the people we get are referrals. And now we have announced and we have twice as many people applying to the program. It's about 198% who would recommend. The first year we didn't give a certificate because we were not ready. But the second year people started to ask for a certificate, and now 93% of people want to have a certificate. And this is a very nice certificate. And here you can see that it says 9-month intensive. Even if you have 7 or 8 or 9 sessions with your mentor, it's equivalent to 1 month or even more of real world experience, because we are giving you the secrets of the trade. We are transferring our experience to you. I'm going to stop there, and we're going to talk about that at the end of the session, about the choices and the matching of mentors and mentees, how you're going to conduct your initial session, and then the program, how is it going to start. I'm going to pass the microphone now to Shirley and Ahmed, who will tell you what to do, and they will introduce themselves and tell you about their experiences in the program. Please, my friends, go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Shirley Bejarano, and welcome everyone. I was a mentee in 2017. I think it was one of the first classes, and MultiPOD really helped me out in a critical moment in my career. I had to make a big decision that I realized afterwards that there was no wrong answer to that. And so my mentor helped me through creating what is a decision map. And through that, I was able to figure out the best path for me. And yes, the one thing that I learned from that mentorship was that you are not married to any job. And so don't worry. And that is why you're not, there isn't a wrong decision, because you're going to learn from whatever path you end up taking. And yeah, you will just evolve from that. So I'm very thankful for MultiPOD. And so now, Ahmed, please share with us what has been your experience with MultiPOD.
Absolutely. So my experience has been quite similar to yours, exception that I started it at a much older stage in my life. I was also in a critical position in my life. At the time I was 33 years old. I was only barely starting to live in a new country for the first time in my life. I was going back to university for the third time in my life, and I was trying to get everything done at the same time. And when you're in that position, when you're dealing with this much change, you need all the support and advice that you can get. I was fortunate at the time to have been introduced to MultiPOD. At that point, my mentor helped me with many things, initially related to finding a job, coming up with a game plan to do the job search, a strategy to fill up and submit all the countless applications that I had to send, and prepare for informational interviews, to network. And when I was somehow successful in finding a job, my mentor helped me prepare to enter this new work environment that was very new to me. But I would say more importantly, my mentor helped me discover my strengths, my talents, and also helped me to know without a doubt that I am capable of chasing my dreams and that I'm worthy of reaching for what seemed to me unreachable at the time.
Wow. Thank you, Ahmed, and congratulations to your mentors. A very nice job. And these two young people are very modest. Shirley, the job that she got was as the director of AIDS prevention and education of Queens County in New York. And she's the youngest person that has had that kind of position. So she's very modest about that. And Ahmed, he's a medical doctor from Egypt, an oncologist, pediatrician. He came to Boston, got his MPH degree at Harvard, and then people stole him. He's now with the Children's Hospital in Boston, and he's not practicing medicine. He's not a clinician, but he's part of the group who has designed the digital environment to make sure that the quality of care and everything they do in the hospital is up to par. So it's very good. So they're very modest. And I think they're an example of what I told you when I said the best, extraordinary, and unique. And now results and anything else, success. Thank you. Please keep going, my friends.
Okay, so we're gonna have a little change in the agenda a bit, but so we're going to now just do the quick activity. I think it's always fun if you haven't used Mentimeter. It creates a word cloud. So we'll do that. Then we'll go into the mentors' testimonials. And then unfortunately, Jovana is not able to make it tonight. So I'll be giving a quick introduction on the coalition. And then we will have time for questions and answers. Okay, so the way this works is I will be putting now a link on the chat. And you should get the question of what is your country of birth? And I will share my screen. Okay. Are we seeing, can you see my screen with all of the countries? Okay.
Wow.
Has everyone been able to? Was everybody able to
the big US, we
enter?
have Biden, and who else? Oh, Kiara is there probably. And Canada, I know who is from Canada, from British Columbia. Honduras, we have said. We have Jerry Collingmore from Barbados. Welcome.
Okay.
And are there any more countries? No. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to put in mine because I'm sharing my screen. So I didn't want to mess it up. But I'm originally from Colombia and now in the US. Okay. So you should. All right. Now the next question. What is your global health interest? All right.
Shirley, I lost my screen, but mine is technology and ethics.
Okay. I also haven't been able to put mine, but mine is up there with HIV/AIDS prevention. And I would also add gender equity. All right. So it seems like informatics is the #1. And then probably between global health research and health development. All right. So that was just a quick activity just to see, where is everybody? What is your interest? What are your backgrounds? So now we will move on to the breakout. Well, we're not going to do a breakout session. We have decided we're just going to do a quick introduction, since we are not too many. I thought we could take up this time and just have a quick introduction. If everybody can introduce yourself, just like 1 or 2 sentences, and say what is your global health interest or your area of work. So I'm going to start picking people, unless you want to unmute yourself. And it would be great if you could turn on your camera. We would love to get to know you, see your face. Normally, if we were going to do a breakout room, we would have everybody turn on their camera, and then you would do the same thing. But I thought since we're somewhat of a small group, then I think we have enough time.
And I think I can volunteer to be the first. Usually I have my first initial is an A and my last initial is an A. So I'm usually first in those things, but I've learned to accept
Thanks.
that. So about me, I, just like DZ said, I used to practice pediatric medicine in Egypt. I've gone through several career changes through the years. Went through medical practice and then health management. I came here for the MPH. My final stop, hopefully, is in clinical informatics. And that is currently my interest in public health and global health. Clinical informatics deals with data and numbers and how they can be used to support and guide policy and decisions from the small scale to the larger institutions to the country and hopefully global level. And Shirley, I think you can pick someone else.
Jeremy Collymore here.
Great, welcome, Jeremy.
Yes, I may not consider myself a health professional, but I've always had an interest in the whole issue of environment and development. And you cannot enter that space, especially in a small island developing state, without looking at the implications of health. So one of my first published papers actually was looking at this whole health and the context of disaster management and recovery. And that's where I met John Luke, actually, that kind of paper. But I spent a lot of my time interfacing between academia and practice. And I think it gives me a good lens to talk about that mix.
Great, thank you so much. Very nice to meet you, and welcome to the program. And I don't know if Jeremy mentioned, but he is a new mentor.
I can go next if you want.
Please.
Steve Korber, I'm from Canada. I was trained as, or educated rather, as a physician, and spent a very short time practicing clinically and was attracted to public health. I worked in a local public health department and had ties with academia as well as practice. I was involved in administration. What drew me and continues to drive me in terms of public health is results. And so I was fortunate enough after a career there to be selected and to join the Pan American Health Organization. And I worked there in disease prevention and control for 10 years. And then I came back to teach at university in Canada, both public health and global health. And I've been a mentor for about 4 years.
Thank you, Steve.
Go next. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's a bit low, but we can hear you.
Okay, I'll try to talk a little louder. So hi everyone, my name is Monica Hernandez. I actually also used to work at the Pan American Health Organization. I was in the communicable disease or neglected tropical disease NTD team for a few years, and I moved back to Texas, where I'm from. I'm currently in Galveston. I'm at the University of Texas Medical Branch, UTMB in Galveston. And I am a third-year PhD student in the Population Health Sciences program. I'm currently working on developing my dissertation. I'm really interested in how economic environments, socioeconomic environments influence health. And I'm actually currently looking at the role of the recession, the 2007, 2009 recession in healthcare utilization outcomes among older adults. And I actually hope to translate this potentially to COVID, and seeing how they're calling it the pandemic recession is, you know, kind of had a similar impact. So I'm interested broadly in translational research, which is translating research into practice or research into policy. And I think that just really came from my time in DC, and trying to draw that connection with research. So I'm really excited to be here, and it's good to meet you all.
Awesome, super interesting, Monica, and really good luck with that.
Thank you.
What about Jessica?
Sure, I can go. I'm a registered nurse. I'm also from Canada. Hi from Alberta. I've been working for a number of years now, and I have just seen the same things come in over and over and over again for the same reasons over and over again, and it's just driving me nuts, and there must be a better way. So I'm on the precipice of going for a master's in public health, and that's kind of, I think, where I'm wanting a little bit of help. So I'm one of the new mentees. Yeah, I'm really interested. I'm also kind of interested in informatics as well, and kind of how we can use some of the data of what we're seeing out there and apply it better to public health practices. I just feel, I can't speak for BC, but especially in Alberta, our public health is just atrocious.
Let's say you're in good company.
By the way, Ahmed is also a mentor now. So what about Sandra? Or Kiara?
I can go right now. I apologize for my lighting, by the way. It's not the best. My name is Kiara, and I am I'm actually in my last semester of my Master's of Public Health degree, and I'll be graduating in May, and I'm very excited about that. My concentration is in health policy and programs, and with that, I am interested in health policy, and another interest of mine is improving access to healthcare in rural regions. And other than that, currently I am working as a COVID-19 responder for my local health department, and I've just been identifying areas in Tampa, Florida that have outbreaks of COVID-19. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Welcome. And I think and Raiden?
Yeah, my name's Raiden. It's nice to meet you all. I'm actually a second-year undergraduate at Northeastern University in Boston. I'm studying bioengineering, but I have minors in global health and healthcare systems operations and ethics. So like, I'm a little younger on the side, but I'm really interested in like combining that with like health policy and equity and the biotechnology side, of course, but like I'm explicitly, I'm also interested in humanitarian emergencies and like displaced populations, whether like from war or natural like emergencies from like environmental impacts or whatever. Yeah.
I think we might be neighbors. I'm in the Fenway, so maybe
Yeah.
we are. Welcome.
Another one in great company. So great. And I have left the last but not least, we have Mariela and Jose, that I will allow Fernando to introduce to our next session, or our next part of the program, which is our mentors' testimonials and what they will share with us today.
Okay. Thank you, Shirley. First, we go with Mariela. Mariela Contreras is a nutritionist, and she was trained in Sweden. She went back to Honduras, and she's been one of the most sought after mentors. Everybody who's in nutrition, and every year we have 5, 6, 7 want to have her, but we say she's only one. We cannot clone her. And she's been very successful. And of course, the mentees have been very successful. So Mariela, will you please give us your insights of your experience with your mentees in the program?
Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Shirley. Greetings from Honduras. I joined MultiPOD in 2018. I've had the opportunity to mentor Beatriz Aurelio from the USA, Irene Blomqvist from Sweden, and also Laura Ekrikiches, also from Sweden. If I could highlight important aspects that have helped me navigate through the decision-making processes of my former mentees, I would say a basic one and an important one is to meet their needs in the best possible way. If it meant contributing to supporting their professional development through revising their CVs, or if it meant contributing to their personal growth, such as having discussions on conflict and negotiation skills that help their job searching and their experiences at their workplace. I think other key aspects that have been very important is to be an active listener, to be there in the best possible way. I would also say that it's important to be open, show empathy and compassion, and also support their decisions in a non-judgmental way. My 3 experiences we've been able to have a platform or a space where we can share experiences and at the same time contribute to the decision-making processes in the 9th month period that we've been together. So overall, it's been a great opportunity so far. I want to thank MultiPOD and also wish you the best of luck with your mentorship experiences during this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariela. I want to say something else about Mariela, not about Mariela, but about the role of Mariela and what that means for MultiPOD. You are going to have a main mentor, but you'll see that we also have mentor advisors, and that you can consult and get the advice not only of your main mentor, but from another main mentors and mentor advisors, or even your own peers. It's very important that you take advantage for networking, for exchange of information, tips, etc., with everybody in the program. You will have access to data and the profiles of everybody, and please feel free to get in touch with each other. Okay, now it's my pleasure to introduce a friend of many years, Dr. Jose Romero Keith, also from Mexico. We have worked together for, I don't know, maybe 20 years. And he's doing something very interesting that he's going to talk a little bit about. He made a presentation on Theory U, and he's not going to talk about that because he gave a webinar on that subject. But that's okay. Jose, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and a few words about
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I guess to basically introduce myself, it's a pleasure to be here, and I really want to thank Don Fernando and Coalition for the invitation. I am a sociologist, and my PhD is in sociology of education, which is the interrelationship of sociology and education, how they affect each other. But one of my main interests have been on regressive education, investing in education that instead of educating, undereducates, generates resistive mechanisms. And I've been applying that to HIV/AIDS for a series of years in the quest of understanding new phenomena of why is it that HIV prevention education is so challenging in terms of results. So currently I function as a consultant to a global think tank which is called the Presencing Institute, which is associated to MIT. And as Fernando was saying, we work around the concept of theory U. And to put it in a nutshell, it means mixing disciplines to generate new approaches. Mixing disciplines. What we're looking for is new frameworks so that we can approach and ask new questions and quest for new solutions. So what I am currently linking is emotional intelligence and social change. And we're doing this at a global level, sort of taking change from the national level to the global level. How does emotional intelligence, the connection of the heart with the mind, affect social change? And how can we take that to a global level? And I've been in MultiPOD had the pleasure to really collaborate for the last 4 years. And I think that in terms of my experience, it not only has been a pleasure to explore, work, dialogue, listen, learn with very high level mentees, which is really, really a pleasure. But what has really surprised me is their deep curiosity, their passion for innovation, and really also their commitment to a global change in this world. Because of these interests, it has allowed us to explore the nature and the relationship of theory and practice. And this, I think, has been at the core of our mentee-mentor relationships. How does this relationship work? How is theory applied? What can I do with everything that I learned in the university? What happens when I go out into the experience of practice? What is the nature of practice? How does it move? What is power in the midst of it all? What change is possible and how can we work with frontiers? And as Don Fernando was saying, how can we really explore the relationship between our passion and the development of our capacities to generate the environment in practice to bring about change? So my discovery in these 3 years has been a new formula, a new generation with new tools generates new global solutions. This gives me immense hope. Every relationship with a mentee is an experience of deep hope. And I can only commend MultiPOD and the coalition for their vision and practice, because I really see it as a strategic contribution for a better world. So thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Okay, well, now we know each other, and I'm going to ask then, Shirley, are you going to present for the coalition?
Yes, just really quickly, what the coalition is, even though Fernando has already mentioned a bit that it is the daughter organization that has grown out of MultiPOD. And basically what the coalition, it's made up of, well, now it's actually an official nonprofit in Sweden, which is really great because now they can actually apply for grants. So making it even stronger. So it's an organization for early career professionals in global health for early career professionals. And it's a network that's connecting people, and it gives a platform for making their ideas into solutions. And within the coalition, there is a community of partner organizations as well. And what's driving the coalition is the steering group, which is coordinating the community and managing the external relations as well. So the mission of the coalition is to bring innovation contributions to the field of global health by building a think tank for early career professionals and making ideas into solutions together. So this is a place that I would advise or just encourage all of you to join. And if you're a mentor, you can always still join as well, or you can be an advisor. Myself and Fernando are advisors for the coalition at this moment. And the coalition also grew because there was an interest. We started maybe about like around, I think 3 years ago, where it just happened very organically. We had some mentees that were talking about one topic, and then the mentors also, and we ended up just having a conversation about it. It grew into somewhat, we wanted to make it into a project. I think one of the mentees did make that into a project. But we realized that we wanted a space where not only are you having a mentor relationship and going through that, but and also your school or your work, but also somewhere else that you can carry out an idea and another project outside of those things. So, and even just networking, just in general, just networking. So this was, now it's the coalition and it's an official organization. So I'm really happy to see the growth of that. I wanted to also just share the website with you. I will be putting it on on the chat here. And so whenever you get a chance, please check it out. And the next website I wanted to share with you all is our website, if you haven't been able to look at it just yet. But in particular, I wanted to share a specific area of the website. So I'm going to just share my screen. We can do that. Let's do that. Okay. Now, can you see my screen? You see the whole, okay. So this is actually Jovana Ikish, and she is from Serbia, and we just had a beautiful picture of her. So we just said, you know what, she's she's awesome. And so we put her on here. But if you scroll down to the very bottom of any of the pages of the website, actually, you will find an area that's called resources. And resources, I don't think that this part of the website has been used enough, especially for our mentees, where there's great information about global health institutions. If you're trying to get into perhaps another, looking for a job, or just other research in general, then we have international NGOs, networks, and foundations, academic and research. You know, this is really helpful for if you're looking for a new program, a graduate program, and then other technical information, and then especially the job database. This is very important. And yeah, so please check this out, this area of the website. And then now, I don't know, I may just have Fernando present his favorite part of the website, which is called the Salon. And it's, well, as you see here, a space to share talents and creativity. And this is an area where I think it makes MultiPOD unique. So if Fernando, would you like to present on this?
Yeah, one of the ideas is that we look at you as complete human beings, not just as the professionals or students, but many of you, I would say all of you, have some kind of a talent that you may want to share with the world, and sometimes you don't want to do it. But for example, we have excellent poets, we have musicians, we have writers, and we even have people in the kinesthetic area. For example, somebody who climbed Mount Everest. We have national judo champions, we have dancers, etc., etc. And this is something that I need should be known, not only by us, but other people who visit the website. So this has been a dream of mine since 2014. And finally, they allowed me to put it in our website. Everyone said, no, this is technical, this is academic, this is whatever. But I said, we are human beings, and please make your contributions to the Salon. And they will be published after some of our curators take a look at the materials. It can be videos, it can be recordings, it can be yourself writing or talking, anything that you think is worth sharing. No political comments, nothing technical, just art, philosophy, ideas. Thank you. So, Shirley, are we ready to end before we have some questions, or are there any questions before we close? We're close to 8 o'clock here.
Yeah, so if anybody has questions, please, right now, you can just unmute yourself and ask your question.
$1 per answer, $5 if the answer is correct.
That is not a question, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes. I spoke as, I identified myself as a mentee, even though I identify as a mentor, because I want to make the point that this structure itself is a learning experience, even for me. The whole organization of structure of this process. I have been involved in mentoring at the level of staff, level of students, and then even at the technical professional level. I have never come across a structure that provides that space for nurturing the practice of mentoring. So for me, I'm a mentee in this exercise.
Well, thank you for making that comment. In reality, you are a mentor every time, whenever a young person asks for your advice and you want to share your experience. The reason we try to have a somewhat structured approach is because we want to first have a program, being able to measure the quality of our program and the results of our program. Because as I mentioned before, we are not only trying to help young people in their careers and their personal growth, we're thinking about the future. This is the first time we have mentees who are now mentors. And the relationship that you establish with the young person that you get is up to you. And they will be more than happy, I'm sure, because I read your profile and what you have done before, to learn from you. But at the same time, if they come from a different discipline, I have learned so much from my mentees who are in economics, for example, or gender studies. I'm a machista Mexicano, from many years. And for me, it was an eye-opener to talk with a young lady from China studying in the Netherlands about gender issues in the European Parliament. I had no idea, but she taught me, and we had a very, very good experience. So I know that you are going to have a great time, and the mentee who is assigned to you will ask you many questions about Barbados, about the Caribbean, but more than anything about your life. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it's very organic, and it's up to you and your mentee. If you want, we're here to give support. We have some modules, and I'm always available. And actually, I would like to meet with you and with Carlene sometime next week, if you have time, and give you more ideas about what the program is about. I don't know, Steve, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, since Jeremy has broadened the idea of mentor and mentee, and you've also raised the issue by talking about the salon and a broader idea, I'm going to point out another observation, that it's not just the technical part that anybody, mostly teachers or mentors, if we want to use that term, teach, or you do it by example. People, I used to observe when I was teaching and also previously, that students and myself, when I was a student, didn't remember every word from every lecture that I ever gave them. But they certainly remembered if I was a nice guy or not a nice guy, if I was on time or I was always late, if I couldn't write properly, if I couldn't explain myself well. So our behavior, we teach by example, not always knowing that we're actually teaching or even what we're teaching. So it's a much broader kind of thing than saying, there's 4 components to this, and this is what you have to learn. The way we approach it and the way we react to people also is an example. And people either take it or they don't, or they like it or they don't.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree 100%. And one of the things that I tell my mentees and everybody, it's very important to be profoundly human. Just think about those 2 words, profoundly human. Don't try to be a saint. Okay, you are human, and you have to show that you are human. And in the area of, in the professional area, always remember that you have to have the authority, credibility, many qualities. But first of all, that we're human beings. And don't be afraid to feel, to fail, or to say once in a while a little lie if it's for a good reason. And all of you are going to be successful. I read your profiles, I read your applications, and let me tell you that you are the ideal mentees, and that we are going to help you because we are on your team. Okay, what is next? I don't know if there are any more questions, but let me tell you what comes next. First, we are going to have, next week, we start with the process of your choices and matching, and then we will have the initial session. These are the basic steps. You will receive a short introductory document and a list of all mentors and data on all the mentors. And then you will choose 3 possible mentors. Don't spend too much time doing that, just the ones that attract your attention, because some mentors are chosen by 10 people and they can only take one mentee. And during that process, we try to match somebody, not only because you share the same interest, but on occasion, we do it because you don't share the same interest, because you don't share the same academic background. And this has been such an enriching experience for some of the mentors and mentees. And please remember that global health has to be multidisciplinary. And only 18% of our participants are doctors or medical students, or even less. People come from the policy areas, from management, and many different areas. So that's important. You get that information back to Shirley, who is the assistant coordinator, and you will be notified about your assigned mentor within 1 week. And then the mentee has the responsibility for contacting his or her mentor and start the initial session. As a mentee, you are in charge of the agenda. We'll send you a first module, which will be an introduction for yourself and for your mentor, but that's it. And we would like very much have that by the 1st of May, you have 2 sessions. Maybe you can only have 1, but as I want to remind you, you need to have at least 7 sessions during the year. We saw that in previous evaluations. If you have less than 7 sessions, it's very difficult to achieve your goals. And the goals are achieved by you, or your achievement is your success and also our success. So please do that. And finally, I want to remind you that our main purpose is to build a more fair, we're talking about equity, but also about a safe and healthier world. And I want to thank you for accepting us. We not only accepted you, but you have accepted us. This is a 2-way, and we thank you for that. I also wanted to thank everybody in the team, the mentor who spoke, our mentees, now brand new mentors, and all of you for sharing this time with us. We're going to have another webinar, which will be very similar to this one next Wednesday. But You don't need to attend another one. This was just an introduction. And I will be contacting all the new mentors because I would like to get to know you and also ask any questions that you may have and give you some more information about the process. But we're going to have fun and we're going to learn a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for attending. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask now.
Just a disclosure.
Okay.
Yes, I have been asked by the Association of Commonwealth Universities to be considered as a mentor for a set of cohort on climate futures. That would not be a conflict of interest, would it?
No, of course not. You are talking about the consortium? You are talking about the consortium of universities for global health?
No, it's the Association of Commonwealth Universities, the broad network for universities in the Commonwealth.
On the contrary, we love that. We will work with anybody, and we appreciate your experience and your contacts. There's absolutely no conflict of interest. You are doing this pro bono as a volunteer, and this is a completely free of charge program. It's open to anybody in any country in the world.
Okay, thanks.
So there's absolutely no conflict of interest. Thank you. Okay, everybody. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah, bye-bye, Monica.
Thanks again. Thank you. Gusto verlos. Hasta
Igual.
luego.
Igualmente.
Hasta
Gracias,
luego.
José. Gracias, Mariela.
Adiós.
Mariela.
Mariela,
Adiós.
encantado.
Igualmente, hasta luego.
Hasta
Hasta
pronto.
luego.